Good morning, guys. Welcome to episode 3 of whatever I'm calling this series. To be honest, I don't even have a name for it yet as of recording. But essentially, if you guys haven't caught the first 2 episodes, what we're doing, we're breaking down a brand new body of water. I'm on a family camping trip on a body of water I have zero information about. So in the first 2 episodes, we had some success. We had some good times, and I'm going to suggest you guys check those out. Put a link up here. But we're not quite where I want to be. My goal for today is to have 5 16-inch fish on the board, possibly even cull one and get a bigger one. We've been finding success with certain styles of baits, crankbaits, and a couple of the moving style baits, so we're going to start with that today. And then we're going to try to find a finesse bite or some sort of Texas rig bite and really just dial it all in and try to upsize my bite. So let's go. Ooh, that feels like a decent one. No, it's just heavy. Just heavy. Come here, bud. Come here, bud. Alright, just for the heck of it, we're going to measure this one. Just see how long he is. It's pretty long, actually. Go measure him real quick. Let's get my eyes up. See how I'm doing working with. Alright, so we'll call him 15. So yeah, we'll count him. So 15 inches for the first fish of the bag. Here you go, guys. Fish number 2. All right, guys. So right off the bat, what are we doing? Well, first of all, the wind is nasty. It is blowing hard this way. We've got quite a bit of current out here. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to stay on the campground side of the lake. I always call it the southern side if I go left out of a ramp. I have no idea what actual compass heading this is, but what we're doing is we're heading out to a shallow grass flat. We're going to work our way around the shoreline. We are going to work into the wave, but we're going to do it along the bank side on the opposite side of the lake. And the reason for that is because there's a point there that's going to break that wind a little bit, make it a little bit easier to fish. I'm not really interested in pedaling hard into a probably, I don't know, 1 to 2 foot wave. So we're going to just roll around, play around in the shallow stuff for a little bit, see if we can find some fish. The other part of that strategy comes with, fish will tend to ambush on the windblown side of a body of water. Well, this is the windblown side, and it actually has been all week. So that means that there are probably lots of bait corralled back in this little bay. So we're going to see if we can find some fish in here. Third 15-inch fish, guys. Nice little bass. Oh, that's a big one too. That's a big fish. Hold on, give me a second to measure in a fish. Come here, bud. Come here. Let's see what you measure up at, bro. Okay. Come here, bud. That's the biggest fish of the trip right there, guys. That is a 17-inch bass. Nice quality fish. Biggest fish of my trip so far right there. Check that out. All right, guys. So what we caught that on is a little trick that I use. It's not really that surprising. It's not that special of a bait, but I really like the Jika, Jika rig. It's right here. This one's a reaction tackle one. Essentially, it's a bullet weight, just like a drop shot weight, but it's on a connected arm that hooks it to an EWG style hook. Now, this is on a Berkley Max Scent Creature Hog. That's one of my favorite baits for using this technique. Honestly, the Creature Hog is one of my favorite baits as a Texas rig bait in general. But what we do with this is you essentially, you Texas rig it just like you would any other Texas rig bait. But that weight being attached to the hook, it allows you to have a compact profile to flip into cover, to flip into wood, and all the different situations that you would want to fish a Texas rig, but you don't have to have bobber stops. You don't have to have bullet weights. And what it gives you the ability, for me, in my mind, is that it gives you the option to switch to a Texas rig quickly. Because for me, I'll be honest, I don't ever have bobber stops. I don't ever have bullet weights because I don't use them that much. And I want to be able to just change my profile, go from a worm to something creature style that has some weight. And this gives you that option. So when you're doing a new body of water, being versatile and being able to have multiple styles of baits ready to go is really the key to finding fish and being able to get on them. That right there, like I said, is the biggest fish I have caught of the trip. And it was just, I felt like I needed to have a little bit heavier weighted plastic, threw on that Jika and pulled that fish down. So that's the fourth fish on the board. I actually don't know the total. I'll put it up here. I'll give you guys a total for that. And we're going to keep working our way up the shoreline. I really do think that this half of the lake is really where I'm going to probably spend the most of this episode. I might go a little bit further up, but I'm really thinking I'm just going to tour around here, catch a few more fish, go get breakfast, and get ready for the next episode. Boy, the smallmouth seem to like the wacky rig. Because there's another one right there. Another little smallmouth. It's funny how that's the case where chatterbait, Texas rig have been all largemouth. But look at the fat smallmouth. He is like bloated football style. He's not very long, but he's a big boy. So apparently my June bug max scent worm plan didn't really work as according to what I thought was going to happen. I still ended up with a smaller fish, but still a fun fish to catch. And I've noticed that it's interesting. I'll show you guys actually. I'll spin you around. So a lot of the smallmouth have been on these kind of rafts. So I think a lot of people don't work these types of structure properly too. Because I think a lot of people cast up to them one time and they think that's enough. So my next piece of advice, if you're breaking down a new body of water, is sometimes these rafts, and it sounds really weird, but sometimes you got to cast to all four corners of it. You got to really let that bait soak in, because there's fish a lot of times all the way around them, and people just make one cast to it and think, oh, there's nothing there, there's no fish in it, and they move on. But I have found that casting to these types of platforms 3-4 times, especially the ones that have the floats on them, like the barrels or whatever, if you can skip it up underneath there and really let it just sit there and soak, sometimes those fish are just under there and they don't react to the first cast. But if you drop a bait down by them 2-3 times, all of a sudden they'll come unglued. I've caught some of the biggest fish just sitting there working one of these rafts. So I guess what I'm trying to say is when you come up on one of those floats, don't make one single cast. Try to fish all four sides of it, and even sometimes fish a little bit beyond it, especially if you've got current like what I got going on right now. I'll cast up current and let the current drag the bait down underneath, because sometimes casting on top of their head freaks them out. But if you cast on the edge of it and let the bait kind of drift under there naturally, they'll be waiting there as an ambush point and they'll smash that bait. Did you just call me? I heard the beat, but I didn't hear any words.
I said, where are you?
Underwater. About to that point I told you about. Why, you miss me? Kind of debating on whether I want to come back and eat some breakfast or keep fishing, because I am catching. Alright guys, we're gonna call it right here. Bite seems to have died completely. Haven't had a bite in about 2 hours, so it's time to go back to shore, get some breakfast, get some food. So we're gonna put this thing back on the trailer, get out of here, go back, get ready for a night send. My goal is to try to come out a little bit later in the afternoon and then fish right up until dark and then call it a trip. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you haven't checked out the other videos in this series, I highly recommend it. It's been a fun time exploring this body of water, figuring out little spots that the fish might be. So far, my instincts have been pretty solid. I've caught fish every time I've hit the water. So if you guys haven't seen the other videos, I'm going to put a link up here. I made it into a playlist so you guys will be able to go watch all those other videos. And stay tuned, because there's going to be one more episode of this show that's going to come out as well. I want to thank you guys for coming along with me. If you haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and as always, let's get out there, catch more fish.